It's not the actual website itself that is actually going to help you make a sale. It's what it is that you're trying to offer. A great example is in the world of marketing and branding, it's not about the prettiness or the visuals. It's actually about the content that we're speaking about. Sometimes it's just about being authentic and truly sharing something that's real. Where people can get a bit stuck is on pricing. My big advice is this is why copy really matters. It's actually just another way of you sharing your personality as a brand. One of the examples that really comes to mind where copy has mattered. Welcome to the Disruptionist, where the status quo has no seat at the table. I'm Jess Singh, and this is your invitation to join the movement of game-changing, boundary-pushing strategies that will take your marketing, branding, and customer journey to the next level. Let's get disruptive. Hi everyone, can we just have a conversation about what we really need to do when it comes to marketing? Every time I have a new client approach me, it's not a sort of one-size-fits-all approach. It's truly about getting to know you and your brand and what it is that you're trying to achieve, right? So some people have said to me, is there like some core elements that like every single person must have? And it's funny because the more I started thinking about this topic, the more I realized that it really and truly, there is no true measure. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about is when I was coming up with this list, is it things like every single person needs to have a website? Does every single person just really need to nail their copy? And it's made me realize that it's not always the same case for everybody. So here's the example. Let's start with the website. I always thought that every single business out there needs to have a website in order to be able to sell a particular product or service. But the more that I've sort of delved into the world of entrepreneurialism, the more I've realized that it's not the actual website itself that is actually going to help you make a sale. It's what it is that you're trying to offer and truly understanding the fact that there is a customer for it. A great example is this woman that I've met, and she's absolutely fantastic when it comes to the world of beauty products. Now, for her, she doesn't necessarily need that website straight away in order to be able to sell those products because she's actually already got a really, really big cult following. And it can be possible to actually sell and actually promote that product through social media. Another example is from my world. So I'm from an Indian culture, Indian background. The amount of sales that women make on Facebook Marketplace through WhatsApp and through a lot of these social channels, it will actually blow your mind. Now, the reason why it works is that they know their customer really, really well. And so they're able to actually do a lot of live sessions where they're showing the women and the customers the beautiful saris and beautiful fabrics live. It's almost mimicking the experience that they would have if they were in a shop in India and trying to buy that fabric themselves. So again, a perfect example of why you don't actually need that website and that you can still actually find the customer and know how they like to buy instead. The opposite of this example, though, is if you're in professional services. If people don't know that you exist and you are one lawyer in a sea of lawyers, how does that client work out that you're the right one to see? How do they know what you specialize in? Well, it's your website that's really going to be able to help you stand out. It's going to be able to help you sort of showcase yourself as someone that is modern, for example. If they landed on your website and it looked like it was made in the year 2000, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a turnoff for a lot of people who are looking for modern lawyers who know exactly what's happening, with the world today, right? So in that instance, the website that you have, it needs to be super professional. It needs to say who you are and who you serve. Let's think about another instance where what really and truly matters in the world of marketing and branding is the copy that you use. I'm going to talk about just how significant copy can be using the example of emails. So did you know that by simply, instead of having a statement that says, I'm selling something for 50% off. Now, if you actually change that copy and actually turned it into an intriguing question, could that possibly impact the amount of people that actually open up that particular email? Yeah, And that just goes to show that copy and one specific word can have a huge impact on whether or not you're resonating with a customer and making yourself stand out. So, another reason why copy matters so much is because it's actually just another way of you sharing your personality as a brand, right? So, whether you are a company like Coca-Cola or you're just a person like me, Jess Singh, what is it that I could do with words to help you connect with me better? So, one of the examples that really comes to mind where copy has mattered, it's those publications out there like Broadsheet. Now, the language that they use is so different from like the Courier Mail or the Age or the Good Food Guide, right? Because they're trying to talk to people on a real basis where they truly understand all the things that you're interested in terms of the culture, the experiences that you're after, and it's about truly understanding their audience. If I was, for example, reading the same kind of content in the Age or one of the bigger publications, they might be a little bit posher. They might be trying to get across some different points. And again, this is why copy really matters. Another area of marketing that I've actually found where people can get a bit stuck is on pricing. My big advice is to just simply go out there and test. What's the difference between a $1,099 versus a $2,497? Look, at the end of the day, it honestly is just a number. So rather than getting stuck on it, just make sure that it is giving you the return that you're expecting in terms of the profits, that you're not obviously, selling yourself too short. But the amount of debates that people can have over a particular price, it's just astounding to me. Sometimes you just go with what you've got. And you know what determines if you've priced properly is the fact that there's people still willing to pay. So you keep on increasing it until you realize you've hit that sweet spot, and maybe that's where you need to cap it rather than continuing to increase those prices. So guys, just stop worrying about things that don't matter that much. So another thing that really can be distracting in the world of marketing and branding is when you're thinking about different images. For me, the basic rule is rather than thinking about the perfect image in terms of a stock image out there or creating a really cool design in Canva and all the prettiness that goes around it, it's actually more about finding authentic, real images of you, your team, the people that you're working with, because that's actually going to connect so much better with others out there. Now, a really, really good example is this conversation that I've had with my team personally. You're seeing some really, really great produced video podcasts here, but sometimes there's going to be other episodes where it'll be me just literally on a Zoom call, with somebody that I'm interviewing. And it's not about the prettiness or the visuals that is going to matter to you. It's actually about the content that we're speaking about. So again, when it comes down to things that don't really matter, we don't have to focus on the glitz and the glamour and the pretty little distractions. Sometimes it's just about being authentic and truly sharing something that's real. So to wrap things up, I guess I'm just going to encourage you to really start thinking about what matters to you. There is no secret code or there is no secret elements, despite what a lot of other people will be saying out there to you. Oh, you must have a website. You must have this. You must have that. You be the decider. You test it and your audience will speak back to you and they will help you decide if what you're working on matters to them. There is no tried and tested rule. And working with someone like myself, you'll be able to figure out what little tweaks and changes you can make. So let's go out there and test, guys. Let's figure out what the world really wants from you and your brand. Thanks for joining me on The Disruptionists. If this episode sparked new ideas or challenged your thinking, I'd love your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And don't forget to subscribe to your favorite platform to catch every disruptive insight. For more behind-the-scenes content and to connect with like-minded disruptors, follow me at It's Jess Singh across all social platforms. And remember, stay disruptive.